I'm back. Nice little storm. We had sirens for 4 hours off and on. It was awesome. Now I got about an hour's worth of video, and I'm sure if I showed it to you during that hour, it was just sirens. So, well, I made several off-the-cuff statements that, of course, you know, whatever's going wrong with my mouth, it didn't come out right. So, I'm going to try to correct it. But before I do that, I made one comment about global cooling. So here it is, July in Oklahoma. After a storm like that, we should be seeing, in the past, we'd see 70, 80 degree temps. 74, highly unusual. Those who were wondering, this used to be one of my tools for heating and air. Use it quite regular. Measure temperatures. But anyway, also I was talking about air is like a gas. Well, it's not like a gas. It is a gas. Like, what? So the answer is it's a gas, and the reason I understand weather and the function of things pretty good is because, well, it was part of our training in heating and air. We had to understand the weather to know what was going on so that we could calculate at least within a degree or two of what the refrigerant should be doing. And you know, that was one of the things. I gotta tell you that heating and air, as far as a blue-collar job, is one of the most technical types of jobs you can get as a blue-collar guy. You have to understand just about everything. I mean, you have to know electricity. We had to learn the electrical code, the U.S. National Electrical Code, and we had to memorize it, and plumbing code and gas code, and we had to know all of that. We couldn't just sort of halfway know. We had to know it. So that was very much a part of my education, and you use all of that. You know, a lot of people, you know, we studied, oh my God. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Weather was so much, very much a part of it, and we had to understand it. And amazingly, understanding heating, air conditioning, in you know, all we're looking at is a giant heating and cooling system on planet Earth. So, you know, it's not much of a stretch for me to imagine this. You know, the system is open, and couple that with my God knows what my IQ is. I mean, I tested it once at 141, but you know, whatever it was before that, I don't know. So, like I said, air is a gas, and the wind is always moving to an area of low pressure. It's not you know, it never moves to an area of high pressure. It's always trying to equalize. So it's very much like a closed system, refrigeration and air conditioning closed system. So a lot of people, they don't know what the normal temperatures, well, what we would consider, what I grew up with as normal temperatures in Oklahoma. In July, it would always be in hundreds. I mean, always. It was always in the hundreds, a dry heat, everything browned out. Sometimes by June, the scrub oak had gone dormant, you know, as a form of preservation, and the grass would go dormant and turn brown, and the only way you kept your grass green was to water it, which water was not always in good supply. So I remember my grandpa had a 180-foot deep well. I think it's 100, I forget how deep his well was. And it was always, it was something that you just couldn't leave the water running or you'd run out of water. You know, the water table just wasn't high enough to replenish it fast enough. So that was another, you know, that was kind of a touchy issue with Grandpa. You know, plenty of water for normal daily use, but one time I started to water the plants and I left the hose on and ran his well dry, and he let me know. He didn't want me for it, but he certainly was kind. But you know, I understood. Oh, that was a mistake. You know, this is pretty amazing. I don't understand that, but anyway. So yeah, temperature is 74 degrees on July 14th in Oklahoma. Not normal. Period. I mean, you know, I'm used to seeing rains. We would be after a rainstorm. The rainstorms would be short, maybe sharp. They were never really big, and there never was a real cooling off period, and it was always super humid afterwards. But it would never get below 80 degrees. And then, you know, it would go up, and then we would be lucky at night. We didn't really have air conditioning back in when we were down here visiting, but me and my uncle, who was about a couple years older than me, shout out to Vardaman, would go sleep in a treehouse because it was cooler. So anyway, I don't know if I said any other dumb things on there that needs paying attention to, but whatever. Nice little storm. Nice little storm. Nice little storm. Nice storm. Nothing nice about it. 50, 60,000 people were out of, you know, knocked over lines, and our electricity was flickering off and on here. It was something. But anyway, enough said. Click.